So I suppose my first question is because, you came from Moon and source code and doing, music videos and all that kind of thing. This is like a pre-built world, so you're kind of coming into it where there's a huge amount of lore and there's a huge amount of visual kind of language going on already. I mean, did you find that creatively inhibitive?
It's like going and cooking in someone else's kitchen.
Yeah. Okay.
With their food.
And you're just like taking the shit, doesn't even matter.
And you don't know if they're vegetarians or not.
Here, take it.
Here, don't you like steak? It's a challenge, but it's actually a challenge I was kind of excited about. I was a fan of Warcraft for a long time, so I think that kind of made me feel a little bit safer. That what I loved about Warcraft, I hoped and believed was what they were proud of.
Yeah.
So when I went in for my meetings with Blizzard, the company that made the game, it became clear very early on that, okay, we're on the same page. I think this is going to work out. I think if we weren't on the same page, well, obviously they wouldn't have hired me, so I wouldn't have done it. But it would have been much rougher. But the fact is that we kind of saw things the same way.
With Sam Raimi, I mean, did he give you any kind of tips, or was there? I mean, I know there was a little reference. I haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't seen the reference. I went looking for it. I was looking for the Oldsmobile. I didn't see it. But I mean, did he give you any kind of like tips or any kind of?
He didn't. I hadn't had a chance to. I haven't talked to him at all about it. I hope I get to one day. I'd be fascinated what he thinks of what we've done. Hopefully, he'd like it. But I think every director, I was fortunate that what I wanted to do was in sync with what everyone else involved wanted to do. But if it hadn't been, I wouldn't have done it. The fact is that Sam, for whatever reason, his approach was different, and it wasn't gelling, and he moved on to do Wizard of Oz. And I would have loved to have seen what he had done with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's right that every director tries to stick to their guns as to what they want to do.
In terms of just. Again, I mean, we were talking about the visual kind of aspect of it, but I mean, were there any kind of films you watched in pre-production or during it to kind of give you a bit of a pointers or anything like that, or do you prefer
Well, I mean,
not
obviously, Lord of the Rings kind of looms large over any fantasy film.
Sure.
Peter Jackson did such a amazing job of setting the bar and the expectations of what a big fantasy film can be. We tried to make our own path, but knowing that was the gorilla in the room. That's kind of what you aspire to, making something that has that sense of reality and bigness and vitality. But then I was also watching Sergio Leone. So I was watching, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and I was watching Once Upon a Time in the West, and there's certainly, I think, a Western theme and feel to this movie when you kind of get in there and you look at it, and you sort of try to take the fantasy trappings off of it. Yeah. The griffin's like a horse, and if you jump off the balcony onto your horse, we've got that scene. We've got lots of duels, one-on-one duels. So there's some sort of operatic drama in there as well. There's a little bit of a Western influence. Yeah,
because I mean, it's the kind of thing that obviously Warcraft was created by Americans, not like say Legend or something like that. Ridley Scott, so it has that kind of thing. That's interesting. Talk to me about casting, because I mean, Travis Himmel. I mean, he's coming off Vikings, and you've got Dominic Cooper and all those. I mean, were there any kind of? I mean, what did you have in mind for the casting? I mean, what was your kind of big scheme?
Well, we were very fortunate that. We were able to make a film where we were able to choose the people we wanted for the characters, and not be kind of that was sort of it working in our favor. Travis obviously had such a great run on Vikings, and he felt like an absolutely natural for that character. He's got bucket loads of charisma. So that was working. Toby Kebbell obviously had the motion capture experience that he'd already had on the Planet of the Apes movie. And I actually became a fan of his because of the Black Mirror episode that he did. That I thought he was just phenomenal in. And what he does and goes through in that show, in that particular episode, just made me absolutely convinced this guy can do anything. So, with this character, Duratan, that he plays, I just felt very, very comfortable that he would be able to give the performance to get the audience to get on side with this creature. And that was always the thing that I was most concerned about, is can I get the audience to care about them as well as the human characters?
Okay, final question. What's the status on Mute? I'm really looking forward to it.
Very, very close to knowing for sure
if
it's going to happen. If it does, you probably already know Alexander Skarsgård and Paul Rudd are going to be in it. A couple of other people we haven't announced yet. We would be shooting it towards the end of this year, so it would come together fairly fast, and it'll be kind of nice to get back to a little
smaller
controlled indie
after
after a big beastie like this.
I mean, has this made you gun shy about kind of going into big productions again? Or?
Not gun shy, but I'd certainly want to take a little break, and hopefully Mute will be it. Yeah. And then if people like this, we'll get the chance to do another one of these after I've had a little bit of a rest.
Great stuff. Okay. Duncan Jones, thank you.